Alright, hello everybody, this is beau-hindman for massively.com. It is the 13th of July 2012, which makes it to Friday. That means it's Grab Bag Friday, or, whatever game basically Fridays are just freebie Fridays, whatever I feel like playing for the day or for the stream, of the particular stream, I'm going to go ahead and play that. And today, Friday, I decided to, since I wrote up a column, an article actually today about, I wrote up an MMO Blender article, which is a article where we basically take some of our favorite MMO parts and we make an MMO up out of it. And I used Die2Nite as a prime example of one of my favorite games to pull inspiration from. And so that's what I'm going to be streaming today, is some Die2Nite. But of course, before I get started, there are a few rules I'm going to need to cover. Basically, if you have any questions or tips or tricks, or mainly questions, of course, you're going to just holler them out there in the chat room at twitch.tv/massivelytv. You could also tweet me, I guess, if you want. There's my Twitter up there. If you want to go ahead and try and tweet me a question, you could probably do that, because I can check that during the stream. Basically, oh, and if you have any problems with the stream, if it drops out or anything like that, just hit refresh, or basically give it a second here and it should restart on you. And if you have any links you want to put in the chat room, according, it has to have something to do with the game or what we're talking about, or something gaming in general. If, don't just put some link in there to, like, Roger Rabbit video or something like that. I might have to delete it. Howdy, chat room. How are you doing? Do I feel like playing the Secret World next Friday? I don't know if I do. We have a few people that are streaming the Secret World for us, and I'm going to probably let them stick to it. I enjoy it. My computer, though, streaming on top of playing the Secret World might be a little too much for it. I tend not to. I gave up on upgrading my PC a while ago, so I'm not. It's not the most powerful beast that it once was. What I'm looking at right now, though, just so you know, is this is what happens on Die2Nite every day at what is 4 o'clock Central Time or 5 o'clock EDT. So whenever I stream Die2Nite, my usual time is always 5 p.m. EDT. So what's funny about that is, I could switch it around if I want. I could really stream anytime I want, but I like to try to keep around the same time. So every time I stream Die2Nite, I have to expect the first, I think it's 5 or 10 minutes, I'm not sure, of the stream to be this screen that you're looking at right now. And what I typically do is, or the last time I streamed it, is I want to just explain a little bit what you're seeing and why you're seeing it. This is a browser-based game. There is no music. There's no graphics in the classical sense. There's a few animations, but they're pretty basic. It does have some flash in it, so it's not in my column I wrote today about games you can play on any device, because you could not play this on your iPad because of the flash elements of it. But it'll essentially run on any netbook. It'll even run on your Android phone, because Androids will run the flash parts. But it's a really, as you'll see here in a few minutes, whenever the zombie attack is over, then everything. I'll show you what I'm talking about. But essentially what happens is, the goal is that you and you're supposed to join a town with a minimum of 39 other citizens. Once the town has 39 citizens, it starts the game. Now, I want you to imagine, though, the reason I like to point at Die2Nite so much on covering MMOs is, imagine if that town, instead of 40 citizens, it was 800 citizens or 1,000 citizens, like a server size. So imagine that. Like I wrote up in the MMO Blender column today. But so you start off with 40 citizens. Once you join a town and 40 citizens are in there, the gameplay begins. The zombie attacks begin, I should say. And your job is to go out into the surrounding desert, the post-apocalyptic desert that is surrounding your town, and to search for parts and items that will help you survive another night. Every night, or in this case, in my particular example, it's the daytime. It's 4 o'clock Central Time or 5 p.m. EDT, Eastern Time. That's when the attack happens. It happens once per day. So you have the entire 23 hours or 23 hours and 59 minutes or whatever to prepare for this oncoming attack. So how you prepare for that is, like, say for example, you go out into the desert and you find some metal scraps, and then you go somewhere else in the desert and you find some pharmaceutical products. You bring those back to your town, and you give those, or you work with other citizens of your town or members of your town to build defenses, to help each other heal each other, to build weapons, to do whatever you'd like to do. So there's a lot of ways to play the game. You can play it really sneaky. You can play it, you can be kind of a jerk and steal from people and stuff like that. There's a lot of tools for a town to take revenge on people who steal a lot. For example, they can shun you, they can kick you out of the town, I believe. I think they can even hang your character if enough people voted for it. So it's a really intense game that is really, the reason I like it so much is because it's so simple, and yet really runs on anything, and provides your imagination with this really exciting gameplay. I mean, you sit there and you basically think about it all day as this attack's going on, or as you're preparing for the attack, because you only have a certain amount of skill points, or points that you can use. I have to say, not skill points, but just regular points that you can use to go out into the desert and to gather material. So once you use up your points for the day, if you're done refreshing them, because there's a few ways to refresh them, which I'll explain as soon as the zombie attack is over. Once you're done for the day, you have to wait another 24 hours for those points to reset. So it's a pretty it's kind of hard to explain without showing you the gameplay. But as soon as I think I got 4 more minutes of zombie attack, and I'll be able to start playing. I'm gonna have to start doing my Die2Nite streams 10 minutes later than 5 o'clock, so that it doesn't I don't have to kill the first 10 minutes just explaining it. But as you can see, this is what we're supposed to be seeing right here, are the hordes of zombies coming into the town, the attack. Now, the biggest defense you have in your town against the zombie attack is a gate. Now, the funniest thing that happens is somebody volunteers to close the gate right before the attack, because you want to leave it open as long as you can so that people who are out in the desert can continue to come back into the town. Because some people might be out in the desert and it's 4 o'clock Central Time, my time, which is in the afternoon. But let's say you're a British player and it's late at night and you're only now getting home from work, let's say. So your schedule allows you to maybe play right before the attack. So you want to leave that gate open so that players from all over the world that are part of your town, the real life players, have the opportunity to come back into town. If you close it too late, or too early, I should say, you're going to lock out players in the desert, and they're just going to be open to the zombie attacks. Now, there's different ways of defending that while out in the open, and I'll explain that if I can here once the attack is over. So the funniest thing that happens is that somebody forgets to close that gate, and when you forget to close that gate, the zombies are able to just walk right into your town and to attack people willy-nilly. You each have kind of your own little home inside the town, and you can defend yourself in that house. But even then, with an open gate, you're probably going to die. So it should be a few more minutes, or maybe 2 more minutes. Let's see. It gives you these little pop-ups saying, what would you do if the zombies attacked? And sometimes it takes a minute to refresh here. Let's see if I can get it to refresh, and because what it's doing is it's loading. It should auto-refresh once the attack is over, but I'm just going to make sure here. And if you'd like to play it, I put the address there, but basically you just can go to die2nite.com, DIE number 2 NITE. I recommend every MMO fan playing it, because it shows you, even if you don't think it's an MMO, or because it's kind of MMO-ish or whatever, it still gives you some fantastic gameplay for absolutely nothing. Now you can subscribe. You can pay for 15, 30, I think 60 or 90 days of hero mode, and I'll show you that in a minute as well. But hero mode is basically kind of a buffed up mode of play, where your character can carry more stuff. In some cases, can actually have a class, and I'll show that. And it's around about $13 for a month, $12 or $13. I think it gets a little cheaper if you buy in bulk. But the cool thing about it is, for example, if I have 30 days of hero mode, which is essentially like a subscription, it only counts those days while you're actually playing the game. So let's say for each day that you spend in a town. So let's say if I joined a town and I played for 8 days straight, that town survived for 8 days, which is pretty good. Usually the zombies get us before that time. It only takes off 8 days from that 30 days. So if I quit playing for a year, I could come back and still have those remaining days left in my hero mode. One of the really neat things about hero mode too is that you can actually give those hero days to somebody if you want. If somebody, and what's really cool about donating hero days to other players is you can say, hey man, I noticed you had that pharmaceutical that I need to fight this infection that I've got. If you give it to me, I'll give you a hero day. It's a good bartering tool. So there's a lot of advantages to the hero accounts, which I'll show you. Oh, here we go. Nope. It should be resetting anytime now. I think this is it. Nope. It's about 10 minutes how it lasts, so it should be anytime now. This is the problem with Die2Nite, is the first 10 minutes you have to kind of just wait for the attack to be over. Let's just go back to the actual website. And what's cool is it takes the entire site down. Whenever it first happened, I went back to the site, and during the attack, you can't do anything. You can actually read, I think, some of the help files and stuff like that. And Die2Nite, who makes the game, or they make the development studio who makes the game, is actually a really cool development studio. They have a lot of neat little single player as well as MMO-ish type games. They have one that is essentially Minecraft online. It's in development. I'll show you that sometime. So if you're bored, you can always go and play the other Die2Nite games. Actually, as a development studio, they're one of my favorites for these kind of independent little games. Okay, here we go. Sweet. All right, so this is what happens after the reset, after the zombie attack. This is the first thing you see. You're going to see the crow, the announcement from the crow, and the crow is basically your newscaster, let's just call it, for the town. He's going to give you this gazette. Now, this is going to tell you what happened during the attack, and then, of course, it shows you in the news section here as well. Void of Ever Morning, which is the name of the town that I happen to join. It's called the Void of Ever. You know, the town names are random, I think, but they're really pretty neat. They just come up with random ones. Some of our nearest and, dare I say, dearest were trapped outside last night in the cold and lonely wastelands. There has been no sign of them since the attack. There's little or no chance of seeing them again. Furthermore, there is a great sadness in town this morning following the disappearance of our mascot, Click. So what that means is somebody actually found probably a pet out in the wilderness or out in the desert and adopted it in town and named it Click, and is gone. So we suspect there is a traitor in our midst. Some are talking about crashing, but it's difficult to know more at this stage. So essentially what he's saying there, the crow is saying, is that our mascot Click, who somebody found out in the desert, it was stolen from somebody, and the crow will always do this and give you little cryptic hints that make you, and will name a player who might be suspected of stealing that. And so you get mad, maybe you go approach that player and say, did you steal my pet, or did you steal my drugs? And drugs by I mean like pharmaceuticals, not like, you know, illegal drugs or whatever. And then it breaks down. During the battle, a small cafe was reduced to dust. No zombies managers are making it in town, so our defense is held. All of a sudden, the source of our nightmares begin to gather, blah, blah, blah. So it gives you like a kind of a backup per day, a newscast of what happened during the attack. So you just go ahead and go and return to the site. And this is what you see typically in the game. Here, I'm a hero, I have a hero for 11 more days. A hero can do several different things. You can write on this chalkboard here, which is, I often write funny things. One time I wrote about my dog, because there's a class that uses a dog. And then it gives you a breakdown of what you should do for the day. And you know, you remember all this stuff too, but I'll just kind of break it down. There's a lot to cover in this game, so I'm just going to basically explain it, and you'd have to just kind of go play it. First, I'll go over the UI. The forums are basically your way of communicating. There's instant messaging, but there's no chat. So you talk through these forums. For example, I started this thread just before the attack, and I said, can someone close the gates? I said, I have no energy left. Can someone grab them and close them nice and tight? And a lot of times I'll role play in the forums, and you can actually, as a hero, you can actually start a role play thread. And then nobody responded to that, but I noticed that somebody did get the gates. Usually somebody will respond, and somebody will volunteer to be the gate closing person, gate closer, gatekeeper, whatever you want to call it. What's really cool is in some of the more advanced towns, and by more advanced I mean towns that are filled with people who are hardcore about surviving. They'll survive for like 10, 15, 20 days, I believe. I mean, like huge, long amounts of time. Those players have a ton of points they've accrued over game, you know, several games. On those, they'll actually nominate somebody to be the gatekeeper, and they take those jobs very, very, very seriously. So that's where you communicate with other players. I mean, you do everything through there. You say, hey, somebody stole this. Can you tell me who it was? Or, hey, I found some goods at this location if you guys want to see them. Okay, so everything is done through the forums. There's no instant chat, which actually makes it really more intense. I mean, because instant messaging, I think, might set off the ability for people to troll each other and stuff, so that might be a little bit more, kind of take you out of the game. Next you have the Gazette, which is what I showed you before. It's the breakdown of what happened during the last attack. Then you have your soul. Your soul is essentially your character. And when you die in Die2Nite, which is going to happen at some point, you basically move on to another town. So if I was to die on the first day or the 6th day or the 100th day or whatever it is, it says, all right, you're dead. Do you want to go find another town? And you can actually go find another town right then and continue to play. Or you can actually, there is an actual, which I'm so excited about. I want to eventually work into maybe doing a massively version of this, getting some readers to help join or join with me. You can actually make a private town where you actually host your own game and can set the rules and everything. But you have to have, I think, at least 40 players, and you have to build up the points. So I'm still making my way towards a private town. So it gives you, you have a little profile. You can update. You can put a little picture. There's my little Milmo character. As you play, you actually earn abilities. If you're a heroic player, meaning that you've basically paid something, a monthly thing. And I've earned the last thing, and you can see all the skills you earn as you go along. The last one I earned was large chested, which means that I can actually carry additional space in my house. Here's the power I earned before that was dictator. I could actually write what was written on the blackboard. So these are all abilities that you can earn as you use hero days. See, I've amassed 51 hero days. A few of those hero days I've actually earned from players being referred to the game from me, and then you actually earn some hero days, so it's pretty cool. So other ways to get hero days without paying for them. Then you have different towns. Here's the towns that I think I was in. Here's all the achievements you get. For example, death by infection. I had 1 death by infection, so that's an achievement. Messages, how many messages I've sent, that's an achievement. Grant dead in your bed, that means how many times I've died in my bed, meaning that I was in town and the zombies got in and killed me in my bed. There was 10 times I've died. Professional scout, days spent as a scout. So all these are different achievements, give you different things, and I think they actually eventually earn you select something, and it'll explain it here. Really, really cool stuff. I think Golden Child means that I've died, was the last man standing, I think. I've done that a couple times, meaning that I was the last person alive in the town, or one of the last people. And you can, in the hero mode, for example, I could show you real quick. What it does is it allows you to, it's like I said, it's around, I want to say $12, $13 a month, essentially. It's give or take a few dollars, but it's really cheap. And like I was saying, you don't just spend them. Like, if I haven't played for 10 days, I don't lose 10 days of hero mode or subscription time. It'd be like if you played World of Warcraft and were only charged for the actual time you spend in game. And in hero mode, you can actually choose a different class. And let me see if I can find the classes here real quick, and I'll show you. See, right now I'm a scout. Where are we at? I always forget where the help file thingy is. Here we go. Your soul, death, man, standing, where is it at? Here we go, jobs. Jobs are the different classes you can earn, and the basic one that you can be is resident. That's just a freebie account. You don't have to spend any money. You have 6 ability points, action points, I'm sorry, that you can use. Of course, you have different ways of refreshing that. Per day, I can refresh that twice, so I essentially have about 18 ability points or action points that I spend per day. So you have your resident. He's just a basic player, free player. Then when you start paying, you get into the classes. You get scavenger, which is exactly how it sounds. You're good at scavenging stuff from the desert. Then you have scout, which I'm trying scout now because I found that my game, for a while I was doing the trainer who had a dog that can send stuff back to town. So I'd go out in the desert and find a bunch of junk and send it back to the town, because that's what I like to do, is just provide a bunch of the stuff. But then I found that the scout was really cool because he or she can move through the desert, and sneak past the zombies and get to the really cool stuff. And then I found that that's helped me survive longer so far. But we'll see. Guardian is, I think, like a zombie killer kind of thing. Guardian retains this advantage. See, you can keep more zombies at bay. Survivalist is, basically as it sounds, you can actually survive out in the desert. You can actually spend your time in the desert and actually live without having to go back to town, which is a pretty cool thing, but you still have a limited inventory, as you can see right up here in my top right-hand corner. And it's, so that you can change that a little bit, but survivalist is kind of odd because I don't really know why. I mean, I guess survivalists probably want to go out into the wilderness and just survive for a long time and earn, find really cool stuff. Tamer, I played for a long time. You have a 3-legged labradoodle as your pet, and essentially what that means is as you're out in the desert, you have these additional inventory slots, and you can send those back. You can send goods back to town. So as you find more stuff, you just send your dog back to town. He or she, or whatever you want to name the dog, whatever, goes back to town, dumps it off in the bank, and then you can continue on with your gameplay. That was a fun profession, but I still got killed a lot. So technician, I'm not really sure what a technician is. I think they're the ones who make a lot of the stuff in the town, a lot of the defenses. I'd have to read that. And then shaman is the brand new one. A shaman can actually take dead players' souls, I think. The shaman is an incredibly powerful voodoo sorcerer who can profit from the deaths of other citizens to carry out their black magic. The shaman knows how to make use of the useless and knows how to bring about a more useful reincarnation for our dearly departed. So you actually can because I'll find souls while I'm out scavenging all the time, and I put them back in the bank. As a matter of fact, let me go back here and I'll show you that. Help on the UI is just your help section, and then here's your action points, and then here's your status. Your status will show you all the effects you have going on. And I know that's kind of small on the screen. It's 720 right now, so you should be able to watch it on full screen and see that a little more clearly. But right now I'm thirsty, for example, because I haven't drank all night during the attack, so I need to get some water and drink some water. And then your inventory is next, so I'll show you everything in your inventory. Right now all I have in my inventory is some bandages. And I actually found those, and I'm saving those so that if I get a wound, which I always will, I can actually kind of heal myself. Down below here, it'll show you your title of your town, what day it is. It's day 3. Hopefully we can survive for more than a week. I'll be very proud. How much in defenses we have? We have 46 defense points, and then the estimated attack. Now each day the zombies get worse and worse. Right now, without even really starting to really estimate the attack, meaning that the citizens all take part. I'll show you this, how you estimate the attack. Right now it's saying between 80 and 115 zombies might be attacking. That means our 46 defense points are not going to help. This town so far that I've dealt with has been kind of amateurish. We're not all really that great. I mean, I know how to play, but I've really just started really getting into really kind of trying to play really well instead of just having fun and seeing what I can do. Hold on a second here. So I doubt we'll survive that attack. So what I'm getting ready to do is probably just really reinforce my own home and try to survive myself. So then below here is the chalkboard that you can update, and then you can collect the water ration, your rail. This is your list of things to do. Collect your water ration, help estimate the attack, vote for today's upgrade project. I'll go ahead and start down this list because that'll explain a lot, and then I'm going to go out into the desert and I'm going to forage, and I'll show you guys how that works, guys and girls. Collect your next on the task list are mining, and what you want to do every day is collect water at the well. You go to the well, and that's your water rations. You can take one or not, because as you can see, the well will actually start to dry up. So you've got to really be careful with that. You can eventually build a pump as a town, as a project, and help keep the water rations coming. But I'm going to go ahead and take a water ration. We still have 77 left, and I think only 20 people left in the town. Okay, so then after you do that, help estimate the attack is something you want to do every day. So you want to go to the watchtower. You stand in the watchtower and you scan the surroundings. As each player does that, that number between 80 and 115 zombies will get more and more detailed or more and more precise. So eventually we'll be able to say 85 zombies is pretty likely to attack us. So we could try and work up that many. I seriously doubt we can put it together enough defense points to fight off that many zombies. I mean, the zombies start to get really worse, really hardcore, pretty quick in this game. So if you can last several weeks, like some of the towns I've seen, you're really doing well. So I've played in games before I've lasted maybe 6-7 days, and you're like, oh, so exciting, and then you just get wiped out. So it's a hardcore game once you get into it. So I don't know how we'll make up that many defense points. We haven't worked together really well as a town. Sometimes you'll jump in a town and it's just magic. Everybody works together really well. Things get built. What I tend to do is just try to supply the town with as many goods as I can. Okay, so then once you estimate the attack, you can vote for today's upgrade project. That basically means later on this list can be really long, and as a town you need to decide what we're going to build next. In this case, we're building a higher level watchtower. and you vote every day, and it's kind of, you know, that list will go longer and longer. I've seen towns where that list is huge, and you debate on the forums here. You debate about what should we build next, and everybody's yelling about it and stuff. It just really depends on the type of players you're playing with. Okay, so I can work on a construction site, go outside, I can do whatever I want at this point. The first thing I need to do is I've got action points remaining. I've got some water to, once these 6 action points get down to 0, I can refresh that with some water, and once a day I can refresh it with some food. So you can drink once a day, and you can take food once a day. You can also take a drug once a day if you have a drug that might refresh your action points, but that's often very dangerous. You can sometimes get hooked, or you can have a bad reaction or whatever. So the first thing I like to do is go back to my home and make sure that I'm going to clean up my house here. I think the only reason you want to clean up your house is you can get an achievement for keeping your house clean. I clean it all the time. I can do stuff here now inside my house. I can use my bandage if I was wounded. I can drink the water ration. I can use heroic actions. Heroic actions are something that you can use in the game if you're paying for hero mode, but you can use it. You can use one action once a day per game. So, for example, I was stuck out in the desert yesterday's game, I think, and I used heroic return. Heroic return allows you to instantly return to the town as long as you're within a certain distance. I think it's 11 kilometers, which is pretty far. And I was stuck. I was surrounded by zombies. I was gonna die, so I just went ahead and used that. And you have these different actions you can use. I can actually rescue a player who's stuck somewhere, which is, I mean, people find that out and they're like, please rescue me, and you have to really make decisions like, who should I rescue if I'm going to rescue somebody. So the worst thing to do as a hero is to forget to use these abilities during your game. If you don't use them up, you know, you're kind of a jerk. You know, you should try to use them up. Then it shows you know, here's your inventory here, and then this is your house's chest. In this chest here that I'm showing, you can actually put furniture, objects, whatever, store stuff, whatever you want to do. And if you put heavy objects in there, for example, it'll actually add to your home defense points, which is right here. Your home defense points as a hero automatically kind of higher, being because you're a hero, but you know, there's different ways to up that home defense, because you have the gate and you have the town to defend against, the town's defense to defend against the daily horde of zombies. But if they get through, you want your home defenses to be high as well. You can do that in a couple ways. You can upgrade stuff using using materials, but this is pretty controversial and should be kind of used at a last resort. If you start upgrading your house and suddenly you've got the nicest house in the town, other players might start to not take kindly to that and might start trying to vote you out or get you hurt, or you know, whatever. Maybe they'll attack your, you know, go sneak into your house and steal your goods or whatever they want to do. So you have to be careful about using these, because you don't want to be seen as somebody, because you're spending your valuable action points on upgrading your house, which is kind of mainly only for your defense. So it's not really good to do. But I typically always upgrade it a little bit. Then you can add home improvements, which is where you can, this will show you furniture and stuff like that that'll kind of help you with help you in different ways, which I'd have to explain that. But so there's different ways to upgrade your home. That's your home. That's where you're going to spend a lot of your time. At the well is where you get your water. The bank is really, really important, because this is where all the town's stuff is stored. Now, what's really cool about the bank is as you take and add things to the bank, it actually keeps a log of it per day. Now, as a hero, I've earned the ability to actually erase things in the bank. So if I wanted to steal something from the bank, let's say this pharmaceutical product, right? If I wanted to steal that, it's a very valuable item. Steal that from the bank, the log would say, hey, Bo took that from the bank, and everybody's gonna hate me and vote me out or want to kill me or whatever. So I can actually erase that from the log. So I can be very sneaky in that way. And I admittedly have used that a few times in games, because it gets down to the wire. You have to survive. We have like a snake that we've got in the bank. It's gonna add to defense. An EMS system, quick fix glue. A lot of these objects you have to take out of the bank and then add them together and build something with them. So what I typically try to do is add as many items as I can to this bank. I'm going to go ahead and take an item of food here. I'll go ahead and take that meaty bone, so that once I'm out in the desert, I can actually refresh my ability points, action points, I'm sorry. Now see, when I took that meaty bone, as you can see, it says right here, beau-hindman has taken the meaty bone from the bank. So if I do that too many times, if I take too many items, The players are going to know it, and they're not going to like that. So what I'm doing is I'm preparing. I'm grabbing my water and my food, my bandage, and I'm preparing to go out into the wilderness. Okay. So after that, you have the construction sites. Construction sites are basically um, just what they sound, sites that you can actually build on. But to actually build them, once you have the materials, you actually have to add your ability points to the to the construction site. So players have to voluntarily, I'm sorry, give up their very valuable action points. So what I typically do, if there's a really, like this great pit, for example, it adds 10 defense to the town, right? Now our defense was what, 40 something? There's 80 something coming in. If we got this sucker built, that would add 10 points of defense. But look, it needs 80 AP. That needs 80 players, or I'm sorry, at least probably 20 of us need to add a lot of AP to this thing to get it built before the next attack, and we're just not going to do that. So I probably wouldn't waste spending my AP on that. I might spend it on emergency supplies. Basically, emergency supplies is, just to read its description here, to prepare for any eventuality, it is sometimes necessary to build emergency defenses which are not designed to last more than one attack. The emergency supply system fulfills this need. Be sure not to waste resources hastily building temporary structures all over the camp. So there's only 28 points left to build that. I could go out to the wilderness for a little bit, which I'm about to do, and then I could add my remaining AP to that, which I'll probably do to help see if it gets built. Sometimes I'll do that. But right now, probably the best thing to do is, being that this town is kind of amateurish, I mean, it seems like a lot of new players, we're not going to survive much longer. I probably need to spend all my ability points just trying to find as much stuff as possible and hoping to live. Like pharmaceutical products, stuff like that. Okay, so that's the construction sites, and then you have the town gates. This is how you go out into the town, and this is the very important part. In this screen, I'm sorry, you can open or close the gates. It costs you 1 ability point, and you can see a map of the area outside. There's expeditions, which I'll explain, but I'll skip that because it's a little bit complicated. If I click on that button, it's going to show me if there's any expeditions out there, which there's not. Excuse me. I can also plan an expedition, which I'll explain. I think an expedition, though, is a planned out route, and players can go with you and stuff like that. But I haven't done it before, so I'm still figuring that one out myself. Oh, I've got to open the gates first. I was going to say, why won't it let me? So the first thing I want to do in order to go out in town, I've got 6 ability points. I'm going to open the gates for 1 ability point, or action point, I'm sorry. So now the gates are open. I have 5 points left out of that 6. So I can go out into the world, I can close the gates back, which is the last thing you want to do at night, or I can plan an expedition. So I'm going to go into the world beyond. This is when you're actually walking out into the desert and looking around and hoping to live. Now, in Chrome, which I'm running right now, this little flash doohickey here, this little map, which I wish they would have done in HTML5, then this game would have been playable on, if it wasn't really mainly for this little map only, this game could be playable on an iPad, browser, whatever. But that flash thing takes it out. So what I'm going to do is, it locks up like this sometimes, this little loading screen. So you just refresh it. Hopefully that'll, let's see if I can get it working here. If not, sometimes you just have to open Internet Explorer and there we go. So that's showing the town. This is the actual map. So what I want to do is I want to start figuring out, okay, where do I want to go? So I click on the map screen, which is going to show me the grids. Now remember, I have 5 points left out of 6, and then two chances to refresh that. But there's a lot of stuff out here that wants to kill me. The darker orange, the more zombies there are. Now my class is a scout, so I can skip past groups of zombies pretty easily, but I still want to watch out for hordes. The first thing I want to look at is global. Global is going to show me where people have actually been, and that will show me what's, so that'll kind of clear up who's explored what. These shady areas up in that corner, nobody's volunteered to go up into that area yet. So there could be really, really cool stuff out there. I've actually found this hospital right here. I actually looked at and explored a little bit. And if I go out there, maybe I'll show you, but it instantly gives you a disease. It's pretty hectic to go out there. And then if you hover over zones, sometimes you'll see a note pop up. Those notes are like little tags that you can put in areas. Let's say you find a bunch of really cool items. You can tag an area saying, hey, there's items here. So the first thing you do is look at global. All this area has really been explored pretty well, obviously, because it's pretty safe. So I'll probably go out this way and then work my way back. I like to take chances. That's the only way you're going to find good stuff. So I typically like, oh, and then if you hit mark here, I'm sorry, it's going to show you where the different items are. So like here's some stuff here. There's, what did that marker say? Abandoned objects. So there's all these abandoned objects this way. So I'll probably head out this way and pick up. See, I already don't have a lot of room though. So I could head down this way. See, this is the planning part. You've got I've got 5 out of the 6. I've got potentially 10 more points after that. So potentially, you know what, 15 points. So each square costs you a point to go into. Now, along the way, you can run into zombies and stuff and have to fight them, or survive somehow, and that might cost points. You can also get hurt, and it takes down your AP point level, so you can only have like 5 out of 5 instead of 6, so you got to be really careful. There's resources. You know what I could do is go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then make my way back to town, and then leftovers spin on a project. That's probably what I'll do. So the first thing you want to do is, here's the home where you're starting out. You click on the square you want to go to, and then you click this arrow to commit to that. Okay, so this is what I'm in. This is what you see next. I'm actually in an area with one single zombie. That's what the red character here is. Each zombie is 1 point. Each human is 2 points. So if there's 2 zombies and 1 human, that'll be 2 points a zombie to 2 points a human. So as long as those are even or less than, you're safe. As soon as it got 3 zombies in a zone, though, I'd have to fight my way out, sneak my way out, survive somehow, or kill a zombie or something. So you have to be really careful going into zones that might have a lot of zombies. Now, there's a few things once you're in a zone. It says this zone is depleted, which means that there's nothing here. People have searched it so much. I usually trust it, but you can go ahead and search the depleted zone for, in the off chance there might be something left. And as it says, after exhaustive searching, the only thing you have discovered is the emptiness of wasted time. So here's a picture of the zone. There's nothing here left, but somebody died or dropped. See, they used a torch here. Somebody used a torch and dropped it. I mean, attacked a zombie with a torch and dropped these goods. As you can see, I already have a piece of meat, which I can pick up off the ground there, and a log. The log can be used in crafting stuff. So already, I have a full inventory, and I still have 4 points left, and I'm only 1 square away from town. Now I can do a couple things here. I can run back to town real quick, pop in there for 1 point, drop some of this stuff off, and then go back out. Let's see. Or I can continue going, but see, along the way I'm going to be finding objects and I need to empty out space anyway. So let's go back to town. Let's go to the bank. Let's empty out a piece of meat, a piece of timber. Bandages I'm going to hold on to. I need the room. I'm going to go ahead and put those bandages in my house, and so I can have some room in my inventory. Now I've got 3 slots of inventory. So let's go back to the town gates. So as you can see, I'm down to 3 action points out of 6. So I'm going to go out into the world beyond. Once the gates are open, it doesn't cost you a point to go out there. It's going to load here. See, this is a Chrome issue they've had where it has problems loading the map here. Here we go. Okay, so let's go back. So we know that I've cleared out that area. There's 1 zombie. So if I got 3, I could go 1, 2, 3, and I'll need to refill. Then I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's already. Let's just keep those extra points because I want to go up in here because it looks like people haven't explored here yet. So I like to go to places where people haven't explored. There's a burnout torch. I can't use it, but I'll go ahead and grab it. If anything, I'll throw it away if I have to. All right, so now I want to go to this area. This area has been explored, but I'm going to keep moving this way. Oh, nobody has been here. It says I can search here, or very few people. On the ground, there's a plastic bag, an old plastic bag from the supermarket, which can be transformed into a formidable weapon if you fill it with water. I can grab that plastic bag off the ground. I can fill it with water from the well or from my ration, I believe. And then use that water balloon and throw it at a zombie because water on the zombies is actually deadly to them and actually melt them and stuff like that. So I can actually use that plastic bag. So I'll go ahead and pick that up. Here's a broken oven, which is a heavy object. It might add to defense, but it's busted, so I don't think it'll work. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. And I'm actually going to drop the torch as well because I'm running out of room. Now, once you're in the area as well, you can search the area like I did. And see, I actually found some wrought iron on the ground. Wrought iron is exactly what it sounds like. It's pieces of iron. You can actually use that towards town defense, so that's an important part. Now what I can do is I can just wait here and automatically, remember, the next attack, according to this up here in the top right hand corner, if you see that, is 23 hours away, that in real-time hours. So that's tomorrow at 4 o'clock. So I can actually wait here, and it will auto-search again. I can search the area again after 2 hours of just sitting here. So I can sit here for 2 hours, and it'll actually auto-search and maybe find another object, and then I can move on from that. So if you plan out your time, since there's no zombies here and there's no attack coming, I can just sit here for 2 hours. I used to do it. I used to set an alarm because I'd always forget, and pop back in, and it's going to automatically search for new object. But I might fill up my space. What I tend to do is play a bunch and use up all my points in one day, find as many objects as I can so I can get back to town and discuss defenses, maybe plan my next move or whatever. I don't really like coming back to the game several times in the day, so I'm just going to keep going here. But you can see I only have one slot left and one AP point left. But what that means is when I run out of this AP point, I'm going to eat that bone, and that's going to clear up another slot. So let's go back to the map. So I'm just going to keep going up. Now, if you noticed on the map, it said that area is a pack of zombies. So I'm just going to have to see what, and this will show you what happens here. So when I exhaust all my points, it says right here, you have no AP left. You are exhausted. That means I'm 0 out of 6. If I had no way of filling this out, I'm sorry, filling up those 6 points of action points, I'm stuck here in the desert. If you get stuck in the desert with no water, no food, you can ask on the forum for players to help you. You can say, hey, please come rescue me. I'm at this zone or whatever. Or you can hide in the desert and hope to survive. Usually you're not going to survive out there unless you're a class of like a survivalist or whatever. So I've got to refill those points, so I'll probably use an object from my rucksack. That's another choice you always have. I can eat the bone, I can build the plastic bag with using my water ration, or I can drink my water ration. You know what I'm going to do just in case I run into a zombie? I'm going to eat the bone to refill my 6 points instead of drink my water. I'm going to save the water for the last case, or worst case scenario I should say. So I'm going to eat the bone here, and that refills my 6 points back to 6 out of 6. So it shows here on my status I've eaten for the day. I've had food, so I can't eat again unless there's a special case. And I have a little bone left now too. Now I can use that, I think, for a weapon. So I'm going to go ahead and hold on to that. If I have to make room later, I'll just drop that. So as you can see, there's 2 zombies in this area. I'm safe because that's only 2 points to my 2 points in humanity. So, and there could be 5 other players in an area with me. It just depends. Sometimes you'll plan out you'll say, hey guys, let's go attack that that area at 2-2 or whatever, and everybody will run out there and attack all the zombies. Okay, so next I want to keep moving. I have 6. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's pushing it. What I'll probably do is go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm not gonna go up all the way. I think that's because you can run into areas where you need those last few points, and if I plan it out like that and go up to this area, this bar, I'll not have enough. I'll have only 1 point left, and that might be the point. I might need more than that. So I'm just gonna keep going this way. It has isolated zombies, which I see 1 other zombie, so I'm perfectly safe. So I can search the area. That's the first thing I want to do. And I found some festering flesh, which I've never found in the game before. That's new. This disgusting lump of flesh must have been torn off another citizen and left with the worms for a while. The odious stench could probably even cover your own atrocious body odor. This item will significantly increase your chances of surviving a little camping trip. You must be carrying the bonuses to benefit, carrying the item to benefit. So what that's essentially saying is if I hold this flesh on me, I'm going to smell like a zombie and they're not going to attack me. So what's cool about that is if I get stuck out here in the desert, or if I want to plan out a trip out in the desert and I want to camp out there, that piece of flesh is going to help me survive. But as you can see, my rucksack is now full. So if I find any other objects, I'm going to have no room to carry it, so I'll end up having to drop something here pretty soon. Okay, so there's only 1 zombie. I could sit here for 2 hours and let it auto search, but since I'm streaming it live as well, and I'm only going to stream for about 10 more minutes, probably make it about to town. I'm going to go ahead and keep moving here. I'm going to go, how many I got? 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. Let's do that. I want to play a little safe. Okay, so no zombies. Oh, actually 1 zombie here, but I'm safe because there's only one. If there was 3 zombies, I'd be starting to approach danger. I'm going to search the area. I didn't find anything, so I'm cool. There's nothing on the ground. Again, I can use something from my rucksack. I can attack the zombie with the bone. I can build a water balloon. I can use some heroic actions. I'm not going to do any of that stuff, and I'm just going to keep moving. So I'm going to move. Now this is a pack of zombies, so let's see what it says. There we go, cool. This is exactly what I wanted to show you. 4 zombies control the zone. Now, my camouflage suit, as you can see here, it says my camouflage suit allows, because that's my class, allows me to move around undetected. Warning, many actions if carried out in this zone will make you lose your camouflage, and then they'll probably attack me. So typically with 4 zombies, that's 4 points of zombie to my 2 points of human, so I'm in danger. I'm in danger as soon as there's 3 or more zombies. So there's several things I can do here. I can do absolutely nothing and just get out of here. I can't search, as you can see, because the zombies controls the zone. Or I can use a heroic action. I can vicious uppercut, and I can kill 2 of these zombies and then make the zone safe. But that, being that I'm going to play the game after this stream, of course, I'm going to try to play. I'm going to save that uppercut, because that uppercut gets you out of a dangerous situation. My camouflage suit is really keeping me safe, and this is why I started to really enjoy playing this scout, or whatever my class is called here. What is this? I think I'm a scout, darn it. I'm forgetting the exact name of it. But anyway, that allows me to move around safely. So I'm probably not going to do anything here, and I'm just going to move on. I'm not going to search or anything. I'm just going to note, if I wanted to, I'm going to note here in the thing. Let's see. Between 5 and 8 zombies, no. Depleted zone, no. Let's see. There's no, like, 1 and 4 zombies, so you have to watch out for that. Uncleared zone. Let's call it uncleared zone. What that means is that, actually, uncleared might have been the wrong thing. Uncleared is when you can find piles of items to search through. So let's actually use nothing. Let's put nose marker on there just in case. I can put a discussion, though, per day, so I'm going to put, let's just say, was here but left the zone because zombs controlled it. You know, I don't need to put that, but it's just an example of what you can do, so I can write that. And so each day there's a different discussion. You see that? It'll show you the different discussions for each day. So if somebody landed there and said, hey, I found these items and I tried to get it, pick them up, but I had to fight, you know, or something, you could put little notes there for it. Or I could wait for an escort. Waiting for an escort, I believe, is put out with like an SOS signal. I'm not really sure. Or I can actually hide in the zone. But right now I'm hiding with my camouflage suit, so I'm just going to keep moving because I want you guys to see pretty much all the aspects of the game. Now here's a horde of zombies right in front of me. I don't know if my camouflage suit's going to let me escape a horde of zombies. Now this is what I'm enjoying about this class. I've just started playing it, is I can actually sneak around and put notes on things like, hey, there's a bunch of zombies here, or there's some important objects or whatever. So I want to try and work, because nobody's really willing most of the time to approach these as you can see, they're not explored much. So I'll probably go ahead and just go through that. Hopefully I'll survive that. If not, I can kill a couple zombies if I have to. I have a couple weapons, and I have 3 out of 6 points left, so I'm doing pretty good. So let's move on to the horde of zombies here, this next area. Let's see how many there are. Oh, there's 5. So 5, again, same thing. I can kill a couple here. My camouflage suit is helping me pass through. I also have this flesh on me if I had to camper, so I'm doing pretty well. I don't want to search. I don't want to kill any. Even if I killed 2, there'd still be 3. So I'm going to note here between 5 and 7 zombies, 5 and 8 zombies, so people will see that on the map. In fact, if I go to the map, I think Mark will show it. There we go. See that now that I've marked it 5+, people will see that. So when they hover, oh, it says 5+, so they'll know to steer away from there or whatever. Okay, so next I want to probably just keep going here. I've got 2 points left. I'm running into a pack of zombies here. And see, it's very possible that I could have done some other actions that would have been smarter to do in these areas. I'm not really sure. That's the thing with Die2Nite, is as you play and you talk to other players and they find out you were in that zone, they say, hey, you could have used this ability and then done this, and then you could have, you know, so there's a lot of strategy to it. But right now, what I'm trying to do is just kind of explore these areas just to see how many zombies are here. Again, I can't search. I could probably kill 2. I'm just going to keep moving because I want to save. I want to live, and this town is not going to survive much longer. I've got 1 ability point, or action point, I'm sorry, and then so that's going to get me to let's see. getting pretty close to home, but I will refresh it here in a second. Alright, again, I'm exhausted. 4 zombies control the zone, and there's objects on the ground. Look, there's a construction blueprint. Oh, boy. I believe I can... This is where I'm not real clear. I think I can drop and pick up objects safely without being detected. I know I can use... It'll show you here a little... If you see this, if I drink the water ration, that'll actually show me that it's a safe activity that will not bring me out of camouflage. So I'm going to go... I know I definitely want to drink the water ration to get rehydrated and get 6 points back. Oh, what happened? Oh, I missed a pop-up. Oh, something bad happened where it didn't restore my points. See, I might be in trouble. I didn't read that pop-up, and I think because of the... there's some reason that did not work for me. So I have 0 AP now. I can't return back to the zone. So this is exactly what I'm saying. I didn't read that pop-up. Let me go on the forums, and this is a good reason to go onto the forums, and I'll show you here. I'm going to write a discussion. Maybe somebody will know. I doubt it in this town. Why did my AP not restore? Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look at the help real quick and look up thirsty, because maybe I thought the thirsty was cleared away with the AP drink. Let's look for thirsty. Maybe that'll explain it. And I just see, that's just one of them things. I can't find it, darn it. Death, soul points, resident, scavenger. Trying to see. Well, I'll look it up in a minute here. Regardless, for some reason my AP points did not recharge, so I'm stuck. Now I have a couple advantages right now. I can attack a couple. I know I can kill 2. I can see the map is stuck loading. Let me load that. I can kill 2 with my heroic action if I need to. I'm going to pick up that blueprint now that I'm no longer camouflaged anyway. Darn it. So picking stuff up, note the record. It does not hide you. I can do a couple things now. I've got 0 AP, so I really can't do anything. I've got the rotted meat on, the festering flesh, so I could camp out here, but I have no AP. It says I can use this, the camouflage vest, and put it back on. Let me see if I can do that. No way to fill it with water. Here's on the ground. I have a toolbox, which is a heavy object, which adds defense, and then I've got another meat bone. What should I do? Let me see if I can put my... I don't think I can put that back on. Yeah, I can't put it back on. Oh! You know what I'll probably end up having to do is just kill 2 of them. But I'm still stuck out with no AP. But I do have this festering flesh, so I would survive the night, maybe. This is what always happens to me. I just don't pay attention to one little thing, and you end up dead. You think you're doing so well. So I'm going to try and remember that picking up objects does knock you out of camouflage. But I have this thing that'll help me camp. I'm going to be forced to camp. What I'll do is, I think I'm going to do is I'm going to kill... Actually, I'm not going to kill any... I'm not going to use that heroic action yet. What I'm going to do is go to the forums. I'm going to notice that I'm at... I'm going to just write this down because I always forget. -1/2. So I'm going to go to the forums. And here's where I can be really tempt people. Will donate a hero day if you help me. Da-da-da. I am stuck at -1/2. Parentheses, don't ask. Was being stupid, because they're going to be like, wait, you're the only hero in the town, you got stuck. And I need rescue. If someone brings me a drug to recharge AP, recharge AP, and kills a zombie or two, I'll give them a hero day. Thanks, comma. But a lot of times I roleplay it, but this is pretty urgent. What I'm basically saying there is if somebody can see, I still have what 23 hours until the next zombie attack comes in. So I have a while. It's not like I'm, I can check on this over the next day. What I'm basically, that map needs to load. What I'm basically telling people is if you can come out and rescue me where I'm at, if you can kill 2 of these zombies and bring me a drug to recharge my AP, because that's the only thing I have left to recharge my AP. I'll donate them a hero day. Now a lot of people want that hero day, especially free players, so somebody might work their way out here. As you can see, I'm only 3 away from town, so they could work their way out here, kill a couple zombies for me or help me out, and then work their way back and still have AP left. And so what they would do in that case is they would say, okay, I'll do that. So they'll grab a drug from the bank, or they have it in their pocket already. They'll run it out to me here and drop the drug on the ground and probably put a note saying that drug is for Beau, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, I can put in the notes here, drop me some AP drugs and I'll give a hero day. So I put a little note. I've been in zones before where people are like, they drop something on the ground and said that weapon is for such and such, and then that person can come back in, log in, and pick it up. So essentially what I've got to do now is I've got to wait for rescue because I was being stupid and I didn't notice my thirsty. I think thirsty, I need to look it up, interferes with drinking water, and that's why I wasn't recharged. If I would have been recharged, I would have made it back to town just fine. So I'll wait. I'm going to check back this over the day and check the forums, and hopefully people will come and rescue me or something like that. If you want to play the game again, it's just at die2nite.com, and that's DIE2NITE.com. I'm going to place into the chat room there the MV guide, which is basically our TV guide for Massively TV. If you want to check that, you can notice who's streaming what and where and when and all that good stuff. In fact, later today, what is it, Friday? We have, in about an hour after I'm done here, we'll have, or 2 hours, I'm sorry, we'll have MJ, no, actually it will be an hour after I'm done here, we'll have MJ with Ion, I'm sorry, how do you pronounce it? I always forget. And she's always doing great streams, so if you want to stick around for that. But if you want to contact me, I had my contact information up here at the top of the screen. It's beau@massively.com for email, or you can follow me on Twitter at beau_hindman. So anyway, that's Die2Nite, one of my favorite games. As you can see, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's absolutely free to play if you want to. I would recommend a couple hero days, though, at least buying, the minimum, because the classes are really, really fun to play. But just give it a little time, and you'll figure out how to play. The only thing I can recommend is don't do what I do and just go all the way out and come back. Start off by just going around the town immediately, grabbing a few items, and make sure you communicate a lot on the forums. The forums are really, really important to communication with your other town members and town citizens and all that. So anyway, that's a little Die2Nite. I'll be back Monday with, I think I'm doing a Dragon Eternity, I believe, for Rise and Shiny, so I'll be streaming that Monday. Then I'll be streaming on Thursday and Friday as well. So check me back out on Monday at 5 p.m. EDT. Thanks for joining me. Have a good weekend, safe weekend. Don't drink and drive if you're going to party and stuff like that. You know what? Just stay home and play video games. It's a lot better anyway. And have a good one. I'll see you on Monday at the same time. See you later.